Welcome to the Michael Dresser Show. There's no topic this program is afraid to address or investigate, whether it be social, political, or current events, including some very sensitive cultural issues of today. The views expressed by the host, guest, and callers do not necessarily reflect the views of this station. Now, step into the realm of clarity with your host, Michael Dresser.
Welcome back. I'm Michael. You're listening to the Michael Dresser Show. Heidi Siefkas with us, the author of When All Balls Drop, The Upside of Losing Everything. Heidi was she was happily married, globetrotting professional who seemingly had it all until a tree limb in New York City, the Hudson River Valley, struck her down, breaking her neck, leaving her unconscious, and suddenly life as she knew it stopped. She lost her independence. She lost her career. She watched her marriage disintegrate as she confronted a trail of devastating lies about her husband's double life. And she had lost all of it. But she was a survivor. Heidi, hi. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Oh, and thank you so much for being here. You know what? It really comes down to it. And it's very hard when you're initially going through something like that. But there is a gift in all of it. If you move through those paralyzing moments that some people just don't, and they end it right there. But in the end result, it allows you to be who you really are.
I couldn't agree more. My story, of course, I think is very unique. It's also tragic. And at first, when I came to terms with what had happened to me, I thought I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. How could this happen to a good person? Why me? But in reflection and processing, there's a lesson in each circumstance. And in my circumstance, it happened to be breaking my neck while taking out the trash.
Yeah, now, by the way, breaking your neck, did it paralyze you?
It did not paralyze me, but at the moment, 5 days later, when I awoke in the ICU and the doctors, my mother and husband put the pieces of the puzzle together for me as to what happened, there was no prognosis of full recovery, partial recovery. We were in limbo, and it took a process of about 5 months of being in a immobilization brace from my neck down to my belly button, and then also on the back side of your torso, to actually fuse the bone and then give me the green light go to now start physical therapy and the emotional healing as well. So I am one fortunate person, and you bet that I'm not wasting 1 second of the second chance that I have been gifted.
No, I'm smiling because it is so important that most people, not to go through exactly what you went through, but they hit bottom, they hit rock bottom. And it's that time and that moments of that this is something somebody somewhere is telling me something, and maybe I should open my eyes and take a look and let the invisible stuff come into reality so I can get on and be who I really am. Sometimes it just takes that to become yourself.
That's one of the reasons I wrote When All Balls Drop. I think everyone has that when all balls drop moment in their life. And sometimes, unfortunately, it happens multiple times. It doesn't necessarily need to be as traumatic as mine was, but we find ourselves, with life's curveballs. And what I've found through my process, or maybe I rekindled, this lesson, is how powerful our tool of perspective is. And that what this did for me, it gave me a forced pause. Yeah. And with that time, not juggling all of the balls of marriage, career, homeowner, and social engagements, that I had time to really evaluate the path that I was on, and then also where was the new path going to lead me.
That's my takeaway. What do I, Michael, get that I did not have before I sat down and read this book?
I think the takeaway of the book is piggybacking on what I said about the power of perspective. And when I say that, I don't want to sound lofty. something that is not practical, that you can't use. I'm very practical, down to earth. I'd like to say that I have a steady meditation or check-in with Heidi practice, but I don't. I use various different things, and one of them is a concept and a trick that I used during this process of 9 months. And I came up with 2 words, look up, to kind of shift my mindset in whatever I was going through, whether it was the messy divorce, whether it was losing my high-powered career, or finding out that I would not be able to return to my home for over 5 months, recovering while living out of a suitcase. As you said, I was at the bottom of my barrel, and I had to look at this situation differently. I needed to reframe that situation, and I told myself, look up. And it has 2 meanings. One is to just be aware of your surroundings. In my story, look up to see the tree falling and get out of the way. But in essence, be in the moment, not juggling all of those balls, perhaps only handling one pillar of your life at a time. And the second, to positively spin each situation, because there was a tremendous lesson that I learned through my horrible circumstances that I found myself in. And I think that there are philosophies around the world that believe that hurdles, wounds, and life's hiccups, they all turn into wisdom. And so the takeaway of this is that positive mentality, and you can shift your perspective by using look up if that works for you, or at least find something that does resonate with you, whether that's doing something adventurous, doing a meditative practice, or eliminating clutter.
From the inside out. And it comes to time with every author, and I've interviewed many, many authors over the years, that whether it's fact, fun, fiction, fantasy, whatever the case may be, there comes that time in the writing where you discover something about yourself that you weren't aware of. Where was that for you in the writing of the book?
Well, this book started as journal entry, so it started out as therapeutic during the process, and I didn't write it as a book at that point. I didn't have any intention of it, and it was actually sprung on me by a complete stranger when I shared my story with her, and she says, oh, this would be a wonderful story to inspire others to conquer their challenges, whatever they may be. And when I was writing this, I did not find polishing those journal entries and reliving the experience to be at all therapeutic. It was one of the scariest journeys that I have ever gone through. And after hearing some of the facts of the original 9 months, you would think, well, you can handle anything. This was very different. And at times, I would say I was really close to crazy, because I was living those same emotions, but without, let's say, the mental health professional, the counselors, the supportive clan, painkillers. I was going through all of those emotions again, but almost in high definition. And it was terrifying. And I finished writing the first manuscript. I reread it. I just was disgusted with what I was reading. And I think that we all go through loving and hating our writing. And although the real-time events was a process of self-discovery, so was writing the book.
You see, the key is what you've really left here, and you wouldn't have had it before, is a legacy. Okay, this brings you bigger than life, because this will stay on when your time is done here. And I think most importantly, the people that you reach, the people you touch, I'm going to say even the lives you save. There's somebody who could be thinking about ending it and pick this up and read it and get some inspiration out of it, and maybe take a second thought and look at it in a different way. It's called it's a shift of thinking where the real key is. Everything's the same, but how you handle it turns out to be completely different. And what you see is different, and how you see it, and in the form that you see it.
And I'm ecstatic.
Life-altering.
I'm ecstatic that I made the choice and didn't lose the courage that it takes to tell a true story. Because every day when I receive feedback, whether it's in person or online, of people that I do not know that I have touched, it makes the entire process worth it.
Well,
and I've decided to continue the story and continue writing books. And this is going to be my career for the long haul.
I hate to do this. We're the engineer's yelling at us. We're running out of time here.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. It's okay. Website where you can find you at and find the book.
You can find the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, and you can find out everything about my future books, films, and social media on my website, which is my full name, HeidiSiefkas.com.
Heidi Siefkas, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate what you've been through and what you've done with it.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.